Welcome to Malpractice Podcast.
Are you ready to get started?
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I think it is.
Are you ready?
I'm super ready.
Okay, I am absolutely ready. You just sent me your story for today, and I saw the title.
Da, da, da.
Oh, yeah.
It's about to get a little crimey.
I'm Sydney.
And I'm Jess, and we like stories.
We do like stories. We hope you like stories. If you don't,
What?
why are you here?
Why?
But if you do,
hello.
welcome. We're about to tell you some random stories, and then we'll get into a very specific targeted story that you clicked on for the episode title.
Correct.
Okay.
How is your foot, your broken foot?
Yeah, if you hear bumping and scraping, which I cannot edit out for some reason, it's my foot brace.
I didn't hear it.
You didn't? Okay, I have to tell you, this is not an ad, but there is an experience called the Infinite Experience. Have you ever heard of this?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Sounds like it takes a long time.
No. Fair, though. So, if you've never listened to the show, welcome. My husband's name is Eric. And his company, he works for NASA. Well, he's contracted from NASA. And his company designed this software and helped film this experience. So it's like an immersive NASA experience where you put on a VR headset and you walk around and they have like a life-size mock-up of the ISS.
That's cool.
It is one of the coolest things I think I've ever done. And it's in Houston right now, but it travels to different cities and states or countries. It said world, it said global experience, but
that's cool. I mean, it's the International Space Station. They should.
Yeah, right. Everybody should get a little piece of it.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Imagine if they were like, this is the International Space Station just for you, Houston.
Right, exactly.
And nobody else.
But it was one of the coolest things I've ever done because you're standing there on like a flat surface or whatever with a VR headset that makes it look like you're floating outside of the ISS.
That's cool.
And you can look in all different directions. And as you're doing that, you can see like the planet right there. As it like revolves, you can watch it. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen, honestly.
I like virtual reality stuff. Michelle and I went to this art thing a couple weekends ago. And there was like an immersive VR art thing that you put on the headset and you were going down like in water in a canoe.
That's super cool.
Like, it was so cool. And then at the end, you were, like, flying. Like, I think it represented death, like the process of your dying days.
Yeah. I feel like VR, I wasn't really aware of how VR makes you feel things so deeply.
Yeah, exactly.
The NASA one yesterday, you're, like, in the, like, launch pad or whatever, and you're getting ready to walk into the experience. And there's I don't know her name, but it's a female astronaut on the intercom, and she's describing the nervousness that she felt, like, waiting for the rocket, because she's like, before you get on the rocket, you say goodbye to everyone, because there's a non-zero possibility that, like, you're not coming home. And she's describing the feelings of, like, how the rocket felt, how nervous she was, things like that. And she described it as, like, the most human experience she's ever had. But as she's telling the story, you can feel the anxiety, like, building inside your chest.
I would not be happy in that situation.
So interesting.
I would be like, I don't want to go into space. I changed my mind.
I have never...
You've convinced me not to go, ma'am.
Right.
Thank you and good day.
Eric works for NASA. He's loved space since he was a kid. Like, there are pictures of Eric as a child in... pretend space helmets. Like, he has never questioned what he wanted to do. I have never thought about space or cared about space as much as I have in the last 24 hours.
Oh, because of this. Well, that's good.
Totally understand now why people are like, oh, I want to be an astronaut.
I mean, no. I've never wanted that, but like I'm happy for them.
I cried.
That's cool.
Like I'm telling you, it made me like when you're looking at the planet, if it comes to your town, everyone should go. Also, if you're a flat earther, if you think the earth is flat, please just go to this.
Please get off this podcast.
Also, why are you listening to a medical podcast if you're a flat earther?
Get out.
Go listen to...
Get out of here.
What's his name?
Oh.
You know.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever. We're throwing shade at other podcasters. That's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
You want to do it?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm super excited.
Let's kick this thing off. I saw the title and I got excited.
Oh, yeah. This is dedicated to you for sure. I really wanted to do another crimey episode, and I wanted to not do something U.S.-centric because we have amazing, wonderful listeners in the U.S., and also we have a lot of them in, like, Europe that we're finding out with all of the data. So...
Oh, my God, yeah. Wait, let me not lie about this. I think we're number... In our category, I think we're number, like, 125 in some of the Scandinavian countries.
So shout out to y'all.
So shout out to you if you're listening from a Scandinavian country. What's up?
So I wanted to break away a bit. So I'm bringing you the tale of William and William, Burke and Hare, Bodysnatchers and murderers.
Bodysnatchers. Oh my God. This has been on my list for so long.
It has. They're also known as the Westport murderers. So I'm going to take it back to 19th century in Edinburgh, Scotland.
Do it. Let's go there.
And I'm not going to bury the lead with this one because I want to make sure people know, like, we're like medical crime. They were serial killers, and they were doing it for a specific purpose. They were killing people so they could sell their bodies to anatomy labs to be dissected at lectures. So they murdered 16 people in 12 months from 1827 to 1828.
16 people?
Yeah.
That's so many.
Yep.
I've heard a lot about, like, anatomy labs historically have done some real shady shit to get their hands on bodies. Which is why I'm so excited that you're covering this.
Yeah, I'm excited too. It's really I am going to touch a lot on the murder, obviously, but I'm going to do a brief background into what set the stage for them to become murderers, which is actually the need for bodies in medical study and research. So Edinburgh was like the center of anatomical study
right out of the gate.
Right off the bat, can't read. Anatomical study at this point in the early 19th century. So they were like the place to be. This educational time was really important at this time of surgery. It was at the center of education in that realm, so they needed to practice and learn on something.
Right.
So cadavers were in high demand. Like, that's a sentence I never thought I'd say, but I'm saying it. People were like, who do you know that died? Can we have their body?
Give me their leg.
Literally, give me anything. In Scotland, the law required that corpses used for medical research and or, like, the study of anatomy, that's the word. What the heck was I saying? Oh, they had to come from only 4 areas: prisons, a suicide, foundlings.
What's a foundling?
Or orphans. It's like a young person who like has no home, like homeless people, I think, and they passed away.
Oh. This sounds like it's rife for
murder.
Abuse.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so if those supplies ran short, which they did.
Yeah.
Especially at this time, because people were really wanting to go to medical school and like learn stuff. And so they were like, great. They were packing these lecture halls of 200 seats completely full of students. Like, it was crazy. And they were like, what are we going to dissect? We don't have like fake bodies. We need like real ones.
Yeah.
So it's like a problem, right? It's great. People wanted to learn about things, and the timing of interest meant more and more people wanted to learn about the human body, but shortage of bodies in those categories led to an increase of like body snatching and grave digging.
Yeah.
The men who would do this were called resurrection men. They would like dig up graves.
That's a fancy way of saying grave robber.
Yeah, resurrection. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they would like disturb the grave, dig up freshly buried bodies, and then sell them to medical institutions.
Okay.
Disturbing a grave was a criminal offense, as it should be.
Agreed,
and taking the property from the deceased was a criminal offense as well.
Yeah.
However, stealing the body was not an offense because it didn't actually belong to anyone.
Oh, that's weird.
So I know that's really weird.
That's really weird. So wait.
So if you were like kicking over headstones,
you're an asshole.
You were disturbing a grave.
But yeah.
That's not cool. If you were digging up someone to steal their pocket watch,
yeah,
and you just stole the pocket watch, you'd probably still get charged with disturbing a grave and stealing.
Straight to jail. Yeah.
Straight to jail. But if you stole the body,
no jail for you.
No jail.
Okay.
So it creates a problem.
Well, yeah.
Obviously, as we see. In the 1820s, people were protesting that something needed to be done about the grave robbings because they were happening so often that you would go bury your aunt, you'd go back the next day, no aunt. Aunt be gone.
So how did they know that the body was gone? That's what I'm confused
because
about.
That's a good question.
Like
if it was fresh. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, sometimes I think people were doing this without like
putting it all back together. Oh, that's messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that.
And it was also happening sometimes where people would care for bodies, like at funeral homes. They would just replace the body in the casket with something else.
Okay.
So those people were harder to find.
Sure, yeah.
Families were actually like hiring guards to watch graves, and they were like building watchtowers at graveyards over
crazy.
The cemetery because they were happening so often. So they would like pay someone to guard the graves. And then they would also lease really huge slabs of rock to lay over graves.
That's so wild.
Because it was happening so much. It's so disrespectful. I don't know why all those people didn't just haunt the shit out of everyone. I would haunt the shit out of someone who took my...
I would
haunt the shit out of them.
Absolutely. Everyone in that classroom. I'm haunting all these bitches.
I'll haunt the classroom.
I'll haunt the classroom.
I'll come back alive.
Hey, yo, professor, while he's operating on me, I'm like tapping on his shoulder. He's like, what? Nothing's there. Why is it so cold all of a sudden? It's me, bitch. Surprise.
Yeah. I'd be haunting everyone.
Same.
So then they started putting these things over graves to ensure they were undisturbed. They were called mort safes. I have a picture in the...
Are we going to post that on our social media? We should.
Yeah, I'll post it in the story. But essentially, it was like a metal coffin grate on top of where the grave sits that would like protect where the body would be.
Like you couldn't dig into it.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
This is weird to say, but because people were protecting the graves, there was even more of a shortage of bodies for medical research.
Yeah.
And corpses would go for like 8 pounds in the summer because it was hot and like decomp was faster, and like 10 pounds in the winter. You could make really good money. That's great money.
Is that a lot? Okay.
That's good money.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really good money.
I was going to ask about this because I was like, if you're going to be a resurrection man or woman, I'm going to guess it was mostly dudes.
It was.
Cool. Yeah, I feel like you'd have to pay me so much money to do this. So much money.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I was thinking about it. Straight to jail. Criminal offense.
Straight to jail. Regardless, disturbing a grave is, you just...
I mean, it's not good, for sure.
You don't do it.
Even if it's not...
I don't know why they weren't haunted, but I...
Should have been haunted.
I digress.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Should have been haunted.
What, Ghost, what are you doing? Sorry. Keep going.
Just like misappropriating funds.
And also missed opportunities.
So Robert Knox was at the center of this story, and I think he should have gotten in trouble, but I'll get into that later. He was qualified to be a doctor in 1814. In 1825, he became a fellow of the Royal College of Surgeons of Edinburgh, and he lectured on anatomy. He did dissections twice a day, and he did them in front of huge audiences of students.
Yeah.
He's credited with really spearheading the studies of anatomy, but since he did all of that, he needed lots of bodies.
Sure.
Right? So, pause on him. Just keep Knox in your head, old
Keep
Knoxy.
Robert Knox. Yeah.
Yeah. So, now I'm going to tell you a little bit about Burke and Hare, William and William. William Burke, and I'll just refer to him as Burke for the rest of this story.
Makes sense, yeah.
Was born in 1792. He had one other brother, and he had what was described as a pretty great upbringing. He went to the military.
Which is weird considering that he turns out to be a grave robber.
He turns out to be really a jerk. He married a woman, swiftly abandoned her and his, I believe, child.
As one does.
And moved to Scotland. He set up a new life in Madison near Falkirk and had a second wife. They never actually officially were married, but they like referred to each other as like basic whatever. I just say that that's his
like
girlfriend.
Common law. Yeah.
Yeah, Helen McDougall. And they moved eventually to Tanner's Close, Edinburgh, and they took up trade work. So that's like 30 seconds on him.
Okay.
Hare, William Hare, he was born in either the County Armagh or County Londonderry or Newry.
Londonderry.
Londonderry. Yep. Barry.
Yep.
Londonderry or Barry.
Or Barry.
Obviously, the facts aren't real strict here because no one seems to know where the hell he comes from anyway.
No, I mean, same.
At some of these words, I was like, is this a joke? But then I remember that it's not. He has like a little more of a shaded past, and there's not a lot of information out there for him. It is thought that he lied on documents to police.
Great.
So people don't even know really how old he was, because when he ends up getting caught, he kept saying like, I was born in this year. Then he would be like, well, I was actually born in the other year. And the police were like, bro, who are you? How old are you, dude?
Bro, who are you? That's
Who
a direct
are
quote
you?
from the police transcript.
That'd be so funny.
That
They
would
were a
be
lot
so
more
funny.
formal. But anyway.
Yeah, sure.
He was working, he was bopping around. He ended up lodging in a house of a man and his wife, Margaret Lade. When Margaret's husband died, it's said that Hare married her, but it's also said that they never got married. Whatever. They were living together. They had a child together for sure, those two.
Oh, scandalous.
Yeah. So Marge and Hare, they together. And they were at some harvest working. Again, the facts. They were at a harvest working.
Sure.
Who knows where, who knows when. And Burke and Hare met. Obviously, they were besties for life. They moved in together.
William and William.
With their respective wives.
Sure.
And they were like having basically like a great time at the lodging house.
Chilling like villains. Two grown men and their maybe wives.
Two grown men and their possible wives.
Cool.
Live together. Yeah.
Commune style. Go on.
Go on. Correct. Commune. Now that I've set the scene very vaguely, even the historians were like, it's unknown. I'm like, yeah, no kidding. Londonderry, Barry, and whatever. No one knows what's going on.
Yeah.
But this is the part people do know. So Hare had this boarding house, right, that he ran with his maybe girlfriend, wife. And a guy that was staying there, he died. He died of what is called dropsy, which is basically fluid, like an excess of fluid. He died.
Okay, he died of being alive in the 1800s.
Correct. He died at the ripe old age of 20, right, in the 1800s.
Oof.
So Hare goes to Burke. He's like, oh my gosh, this guy died in my boarding house. What do I do? Why would he ask his friend about what to do with the dead body? Just like take it away or like give it to the police or whatever?
Because he was like, you seem like a shady motherfucker.
Yeah, I let you move into my house.
Yeah.
I have a quick question.
Also, I love you.
What do I do with this dead body? Also, yes, I love you.
What are we going to
Also,
do?
can we wife swap? I don't know.
I don't know.
So he said, what do I do with this dead body? And whatever, we can go back and forth on why he did that. But he asked him, and Burke was like, oh, wow, we should sell this body to my guy Robert Knox for dissection. Like, he's so cool in medicine and stuff. So they got this carpenter who provided a coffin. And when he left, Burke and Hare opened the coffin, took out the body of that man, hid that body under the bed, filled the coffin with bark, and resealed it.
Sure.
And sent that off. They waited for the burial to happen. Then they took the body, slid it out from under the bed, took this dead man over to Edinburgh University. They came in contact with Knox's lab. They were like, perfect. They made a deal. The lab assistant was like, give me that bod. We want to chop it up.
Give me that bod.
They received for their trouble 7 pounds and 10 shillings, which was like, okay, at the time, I don't know what time of year this was. It could have been like hot and they were like the decomp or whatever.
Also, you left it under your bed for a while.
I doubt that they were going to tell them that they did that. But yeah, they would decide how much to give them based on what the body looked like.
The condition.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So this was like the first time that they did something, you know, I won't say the first time because obviously these guys are some shady motherfuckers, but this is the first time in this piece of the story that they did something bad with a body.
Deliberately shady with a body.
Yeah. So they were like, oh my God, we can, like, totally make money from this, like, from providing bodies for science. So they kept this in the back of their minds, right? Right up here.
For science, quote unquote, yeah.
If they had only given them less money, maybe they wouldn't have, like, continued on. But that was, like, a pretty good amount of money.
Okay.
And I think they made themselves feel better about this because Hare was like, oh, this guy, like, never paid me for, like, all the boarding.
Oh.
So, like, this is just repaying me.
Yeah, I see. So essentially, you had to justify it to yourself because you know you're shady. Okay.
Correct. He had to make himself feel better.
I get it.
So they kept this in the back of their minds. A little while later, there was a lodger with a fever that would possibly deter other boarders.
Okay.
So he decided that he was going to murder this person.
Okay. Well, that's where you made a leap. Yeah.
Yeah, you really jumped. And Burke was going to help him. And I say there was a lodger. There's, like, different historical references because they killed 16 people.
Dude.
So the first person that they assumed that they killed was a man, like a miller named Joseph, because there's also a woman that they killed right after that named Abigail Simpson. So I believe it was Joseph. There's multiple sources that say it was Joseph because he was actually, like, historically, they note that he was sick while he was staying there.
Yeah.
He was, like, coughing a lot, and Hare was like, yo, this is a boarding house. Like, people not trying to die. Burke, let's kill him. And he was like, okay, cool, we can make money.
And Burke was like, I am literally down for anything, my dog.
Literally, I'm DT...
K.
F-E. Down for
DTK.
Everything.
Down to kill.
Literally, he does not care. So they murdered him.
Yeah.
They suffocated him. They took the corpse to Knox again, and this time he paid them 10 pounds because it was fresh AF.
Yeah.
So they were like, 10 pounds?
Sorry.
10 pounds?
At this point, Knox should have been like, I'm sorry, is this guy still warm? Why were you there when he died?
Like, literally.
Can we talk about that?
10 pounds.
Fresh AF.
10 pounds. So they were like, this is some good money. It's a bop. So the historian Tim Marshall considers the situation as this. Burke and Hare took grave robbing to its logical conclusion. Instead of digging up the dead, they accepted lucrative incentives to destroy the living.
Yeah.
That is so true. So they kept doing this, right? They were like, okay, we figured it out. We can suffocate them.
Yeah.
It's cool. No one's going to miss these people. No one came looking for this guy. No one came looking for the other guy. We figured it out.
And I bet in the 1800s, it was really difficult to, like, diagnose a death by suffocation, right?
Well, they do. The surgical police person at the end does say it is the anticipation that they were suffocated.
Okay. But I bet that was hard to tell. Like, why did they choose suffocation, I wonder?
Okay, so I know why they chose suffocation.
Okay.
I'll just tell you what they did. Because they were in a boarding house and they didn't want any blood. Because if the body was disturbed or, like, cut or anything or had marks, like, with foul play, then the medical people would report them.
Well, that's good.
Correct. So suffocating leaves no marks. So what they would do is, I don't remember who would do it, Burke or Hare. One of them, I have it in my notes, would, like, hold the pillow over and, like, stop their breathing.
You know it was Burke.
Probably.
You know it was Burke.
And the other one would lay, like, a spread eagle on their body to stop them from making noise. Yeah.
This is an orchestrated plan. I hate it.
So, yeah. So they killed Joseph, Abigail, and then this Englishman from Cheshire. So Hare would suffocate them and Burke would lay on them.
Okay.
So Hare, who owned the house, the boarding house, would suffocate them and Burke would lay on them to stop them moving too much.
Yeah, that actually tracks because Burke seems like he's shadier and laying on top of someone while they're being suffocated is worse, I think.
It's like...
somehow.
It's bad.
It's all bad.
It's not great.
None of it is good.
So Abigail, I wanted to share, like, her story.
Okay.
Because it's pretty consistent. So she was invited into the boarding house and they got her drunk, basically.
Aww.
And then once they did it with her, they realized that this was the way to get people to murder them.
Yeah.
They got her drunk. Because she was drunk, she was passed out. They suffocated her.
Oh, no.
The same way. Put her in a tea chest and sold her body to Knox.
Oh,
Burke, who later confessed in a very long confession, said that Dr. Knox appreciated and spoke about how fresh the body was and how he appreciated that. So then they started being like, okay, we have to do this quicker. Like, the transfer time needs to be faster.
Also, that doctor is implicated in this, right? Knox?
I mean, I would say so, but no, he's not.
Oh, he should be.
I agree.
If he's like, wow, super fresh, I love this.
Super
in a
fresh.
Scottish voice. If he said that to them, he's a part of it. The cop should have been like, you're a part of this.
Straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
So, following this, Hare's wife invited an older woman in the house and got her plastered. When she fell asleep...
She's in on it too, the wife?
Yes.
Oh, okay, keep going.
Hare suffocated her. Hare and Burke made another drop and got another 10 pounds. There's another story which is really bizarre. Burke met a couple of women at a bar, maybe, or like bought them liquor somewhere. I don't know why he met a couple of women. I thought he was with like a kind of wife. Anyway, he bought them alcohol.
They're swingers.
Period.
If I know one thing, it's that they're swingers.
If I know one thing, he invited them back to his brother's house. So that's strange. Not Hare's boarding house. He went to his brother's house with these two women, and they got super drunk. One of them fell asleep, and the other one kept talking to Burke. And then Burke's half-wife shows up, accused him of having an affair. He throws a glass at her during the fight.
Oh, no.
His wife went to go get Hare and his wife. Oh, I'm just going to call them wives. The partnership, the team.
Yeah.
She went to go get the rest of the friends.
She's like, squad rollout.
And when they came back, the two men, Hare and Burke, locked their wives in another room, murdered the sleeping woman, put her in a tea chest to take to Knox.
Oh, no.
Her body was still warm when they delivered it, and Burke's wife actually kept her dress.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I hate everyone in this story.
One of Knox's assistants asked where they had obtained the body because he said he thought he recognized her.
He probably did. This is not that big of a town, I'm sure.
Literally, I'm like, people didn't live that long, so if you survived past 10, you were basically a hero. So Burke said that the girl had drunk herself to death and they purchased the body from an older woman.
Why did she have it?
So remember, she came with a friend.
Yeah.
The friend came returning and looked for her, and they lied and said she left town with a traveling salesman.
Oh, no. That's so shady. That's the shadiest.
It sucks.
This story is the most sus thing I've ever heard. Everyone in this story made bad decisions.
Everyone. So obviously, the whole squad's in on it. Burke, Hare, and the kind of wives, they know. They're participating. There's some evidence, according to some historians, that the wives, like, got people drunk for them to murder. Mm-hmm.
Well, I would trust a woman who's trying to get me drunk because I'd be like, oh, we're friends. We're pals. Like, we're cool.
But you are not.
Never trust a man who's trying to get you drunk, A of all. And B of all, she kept her dress?
Yeah.
Did she wear it?
Yeah.
It has to be haunted. If that dress is not haunted, then nothing is haunted.
Straight to jail if that dress is not haunted.
I hate it. Okay, keep going.
So, in the early 1828, there was a woman, Mrs. Haldane, who lodged at the boarding house, and she got drunk and fell asleep in the stable. She was murdered as well.
Everyone stop doing this.
Literally stop drinking at this. Stop going there.
Stop.
Like, where's the report for deaths in boarding houses? This one would be right up at the top.
Right at the top. And don't go there.
Don't go there.
Imagine if there was a hotel.
Straight to jail.
If one person died at a hotel, I'd be like, probably never going to go there. Just to be safe.
Because of the haunting and the murder.
The haunting implications.
Like, I cannot. So, the woman dies. Her daughter came to the boarding house looking for her, drinks heavily. I don't know if it was like a boarding house at this point or just like a straight up saloon.
I think it was just Scotland in the 1800s was a hard place to live.
Maybe, but Jesus.
Yeah.
Burke supposedly murdered her by himself and got 8 pounds for it.
Okay.
So they murdered the mom, and then supposedly Burke murdered the daughter by himself.
And he didn't share it with Hare?
That's according to the documents.
I wonder if he kept that on the DL. Would Hare have been mad?
Burke killed another woman by himself.
That's 2.
This woman, Effie.
That's a cute name.
She was kind of a homeless woman. She would sell things that she would find from the trash, like scraps of leather and things like that.
Aww.
She was murdered. They did this together. They got 10 pounds for her body.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, anyone who was drunk at their boarding house, straight to death, murdered.
Oh my God.
Murdered. If they were drunk enough not to stand,
murdered.
They would try and murder them.
That's crazy. Also,
in fact,
these people are
Tell me.
These people are hella drunk.
So drunk.
When's the last time you were so drunk you couldn't stand? It's been a long
Never.
time.
Oh, wait. Yes, I have. The only time I've been this drunk was at your house.
That sounds right. That tracks.
And Eric was playing the piano. That's the only time.
And I made you take lemon shots?
Yep. And we were like crying for how well Eric played the piano.
He's a beautiful pianist.
Honestly, I couldn't speak to that because after that, straight to bed.
And you would have been murdered. I would have been murdered.
Straight up murdered. I couldn't resist. I'd be like, anyway. But to that point, right? This is how they got people.
Yeah.
There was another murder where a police officer was walking a drunk woman to her room, and they met Burke, and Burke said to the police officer, "Hey, man, I got this. I'll help you out. I know you're out there policing. I will take her to her room. 10 pounds.
This is why, and I'm not trying to get political here, you cannot trust cops. That cop should have been like, nah, dog, I got it.
This is not an American cop.
You can't trust any cops anywhere.
The cop was like, thanks, my dude.
No, the cop should have been like, you're shady. Why are you just doing this favor? No.
But in the city, they were like respected, like
Burke and Hare?
Probably part of the.
Oh,
yeah.
No. That's the ones you got to look out for, really.
The respected people?
Yeah.
They're probably hosting the nightly swingers club, according to
they literally
all the evidence we have.
Why are all of these people so drunk? I'm not victim blaming here. It's not their fault that they were murdered.
No, everyone seems to have been drunk.
Blackout, can't stand up, trashed.
Well, can you imagine being alive in 1828?
No, literally, I can't.
I would want to be drunk too.
Same, all the time.
What vaccines are there?
Yeah, none.
If I break my arm, what do I do?
You die.
Yeah,
Straight to death.
Straight to death.
I literally think this is like the worst. But also, if you're in a boarding house or a hostel or even at a party with people you don't know that well and they seem shady, keep your faculties maybe a little bit about you.
If they seem nice, also suspect.
If they seem too nice, if they're offering to walk you home, straight to no.
Straight to
big no energy. Okay, keep going.
So they murdered a grandmother and her grandson.
What the hell?
Actually, according to Burke, I know that part really affected him, he said, because the grandson was like obviously really affected by being murdered.
Yeah.
And made a face that Burke wrote about in his confession that was like, that was hard.
Oh, that's the one? That's the one that got to you? Great.
Yeah.
Glad that one sunk in finally.
So after that, Burke and Hare got into a fight because Burke and his wife, girlfriend, party hopping queen, whatever
Party
she
queen,
was,
yeah.
They said they were going to go visit her father. But when they got back, they had lots of new stuff and clothing and all this like extravagance.
Oh.
And Hare asked them, did you fucking go out there and kill somebody without me? Like, is that what you did?
He's like, you cheating ass bitch.
Literally. Burke said no, but Hare asked Knox, and he confirmed that he had dropped another body off.
Oh, okay. So Burke has been doing this behind Hare's back a lot, right?
Yes.
Okay. He's shady. You knew that about him. You called him and said, what do I do with this body? Will you help me kill someone?
They literally got into like a physical altercation.
Oh.
And Burke and his wife moved out of the lodging house into his cousin's house. But don't worry, they're best friends for life, so they make up and they move. They're fine.
Oh, great.
They continue
Cool.
murdering together.
I was really worried about their relationship for a second.
I know. So they reunited. I know everyone's concerned. And they kept murdering people.
Great.
A notable almost shift in the case. So they almost got caught one time before they actually got caught. Because they murdered a man, James Wilson, who had a limp due to his deformed feet. And everyone in town knew this man.
Okay.
They'd seen him walking around. They were like, he was homeless, but he was like a nice guy.
Like he's memorable.
Yeah, people knew him. Hare, who had the boarding house, lured the homeless man to the lodging place with promise of whiskey. He sent his wife to go get Burke. He was like, go get Burke. We about to murder.
Go get my bro.
Straight to jail. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I'm going to get this guy drunk, and we are going to kill him. We're going to go make some money.
Go get my mans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
James didn't like whiskey, though.
Okay.
So he was like, I'm good. But they'd already started. So...
Oh. And Burke is here, like...
They still tried to kill him. But he actually fought back really hard. So they eventually overpowered him and stole, like, he had possessions on him. I guess people had given him stuff. They sold his body to Knox. It was just like a risky business of them actually killing him because it wasn't an easy murder because he had his faculties about him. Like,
yeah.
He was not just like, I'm passed out.
And they just prey on people who are like really drunk typically.
Yes.
And women and old men and little kids.
And grandsons.
Bitches.
Literally, yeah. So they sold his body. Mm-hmm. Knox's students said that they recognized James. They're like, I do know this guy. And Knox said, no, you couldn't know this man. He's a dead man. You don't know him. They brought him from Timbuktu. I don't know where.
Right.
And then, this is the thing where I think Knox should have gotten pulled into something.
Yeah.
He took that body and bumped him up the list of bodies to be dissected and removed his head and his feet.
Oh, yeah.
Because those are the notable things. He definitely knew. Straight to jail.
He should have been in jail, too. He should have been straight to jail with these other clowns.
Exactly.
I can't wait. Keep going.
So the cops were, according to some historians, like, on to something fishy going on.
Yeah.
They couldn't say exactly what was going on. They had no evidence. But they were watching the lodging house and they were like, where are these people disappearing to? Like Never Neverland?
Everyone is dying. Yeah.
I don't think so. And they couldn't even tell if people were dying because their bodies would disappear.
Disappear so fast. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they were like, something fishy. No. Burke and Hare continued their murder spree. Murder. Until they murdered their last victim, Margaret Docherty. Lodgers actually found her, or evidence of her, in a pile of straw.
Mm-hmm.
So they had murdered her and stuck her in a pile of straw because they had lodgers. It's a lodging house, so people are coming in and out, so they always have to hide things.
Right.
Burke and Hare got wind of the police coming because obviously the lodgers were like, what the heck? Call the police. The police are hella slow at this time.
Yeah.
So they get the body. They take it to Knox. The police search the lodging. They find evidence. They find blood. They find bloody women's clothing.
Right.
They're like, something's going on. They question Burke and his wife. Burke and his wife do not have their story straight. They start saying different things back and forth. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, we left at 2 p.m. We left at 3 p.m. They're saying just lies.
Yeah.
And that gave the police what they needed. So they went to the dissecting space for Knox and they found her body. Like, he hadn't dissected it. So this is when they get caught.
I wonder how they knew it was her.
I guess they had, like, identification. People were like, yeah, that's that woman. She was lodging there.
Okay.
And now she's dead. Straight to jail.
And now she's dead. Straight to jail. Yeah. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Lock them up.
So Burke, Hare, and their wives arrested.
Thank goodness.
A police surgeon examined the woman's body and declared she died from suffocation.
Okay.
Again, I don't know how they declared that, but that's what they declared.
It's like a coroner kind of, right? Like a police surgeon?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Like a forensic person.
Guy. Yeah.
Trying to figure out. Newspapers are crazy at the time. They start printing all these crazy stories about all of these. People were coming forward saying that they saw victims' dresses on people that were close to Burke and Hare. Like, they saw their wives wearing the dress of one of the victims. And then, like, Burke's nephew had the pants of one of the victims. People were just, like, really coming forward with all these stories. Law enforcement, under the leadership of Sir William Ray, focused on one of the accused and approached Hare, who owned the house.
Yeah.
And they said, look, we're going to offer you full immunity, you and your wife, from prosecution if you turn against Burke. And he was like, yes, thank you. Thank you, and I will do that. That is, and I don't even know him. I barely know him.
He rolled on him quick.
He was like, he did it all. I was just there. Literally, he pinned it all on him. He was like, I was there, but he murdered everyone.
Oh, wow.
Like, he murdered people I didn't even know about.
It does seem like Burke is... Yeah, it seems like Burke is the shady... Like, whatever, screw both of these guys, but Burke seems like the shadier of the two.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
But Hare admitted to all 16 murders.
Oh, wow.
He was like, yeah, I know about all 16 of these. I may have been there for like 12 of them, but mostly it was Burke. He was like calling the shots, and his wife, not me.
Oh, interesting.
So Knox was not charged with anything. Though public opinion was that he should have been charged with things. He should have been, like, the newspapers were printing pictures of him in cartoons, like, as, like, this crazy character who, like, really orchestrated the whole thing. Like, the public thought he had orchestrated and convinced Hare and Burke to do all this stuff to create fame for himself.
Oh, interesting. That's an interesting theory.
That's what the public thought. The public was crazy. There's a lot of mob situation going to come up here.
I believe that, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, maybe that's fair. I don't know.
I agree. I think he should have been charged with something.
Knox definitely should have. When his students said they recognized him and he cut the head off of the one body.
And the feet
You're
of
guilty.
the limping guy
You're
who
guilty.
was deformed.
You knew something was
Straight to
going
jail.
on. Yeah.
Yes.
And he's talking about like the freshness, the body's still warm when he gets it. Guilty. Guilty.
They created this the public created this term of Burking someone.
Mm-hmm.
From the news of Burke, they made up this rhyme. It says, oh God, it's like all, Scottish or whatever, but up the close and doon the stair, butt and bin with Burt and Hare. Burke's the butcher, Hare's the thief, Knox the boy that buys the beef. Like that is like a nursery rhyme.
Oh,
yeah, that they were
shady. That's like an old school diss track.
Yeah, they were like all of these people straight to jail.
Also, I would love to hear a Scottish person say this because they have the cutest accents.
I did my best.
I'm sorry.
In my accent.
Like, doing the stairs?
I know. I was like,
don't
want to. I'm like, doing the stairs.
So
what
cute.
the heck?
It's cute.
So the trial, like, I don't know why they made the trial this day, but it started at 10 a.m. on Christmas Eve, 1828.
That seems unnecessary, but...
Literally the drama of 1828.
Correct.
It was in Edinburgh's Parliament and was heard by the Lord Justice Clerk David Boyle.
Mm-hmm.
The doors shut at 9 a.m. and there was a crowd outside and it was completely full inside. I mean, people were like, this
I'm sure.
is a bop. We're so bored. We're all dying.
Yeah.
We drink all the time. We're ready for this.
They have no TV.
No TV.
They have no internet. They have no form of entertainment except to watch these clowns get their just desserts.
They getting theirs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Burke and his wife, girlfriend, lady friend, were both charged, and they didn't actually want to be tried together. Like, the defense attorneys for both sides were like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Sir William Ray, who was that guy leading the police, was essentially the prosecution. He requested to start the trial after there was a huge delay and argument. They were arguing back and forth. So, like, literally 10 a.m., right, on this day, they go straight into the night. They go through every argument. They do not leave. There's not multiple days.
Oh, wow.
No. You go,
Yeah.
do the whole trial, and then the jury goes straight into deliberations.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
That's so different.
Right.
Like, trials now last for like 7 months, you know?
But I guess, like, how much evidence are you having? Who's writing things down here?
I couldn't tell you.
Straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
So, Sir William Ray was like,
Mm-hmm.
who's a prosecutor, basically, was like, look, I want to start with the last murder that they're accused of because, like, that's the one I actually have a body for.
Right.
So witnesses included Hare and Knox against Burke. So Hare fully not tried for anything, right? And his wife. Knox also no charges.
Wow.
When Hare took the stand, he said Burke and his girlfriend wife did the entire thing and he only helped sell the bodies.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Hare, you're...
And his wife took the stand. He's so rude. His wife took the stand with their sick child, and it was thought in public opinion that she carried her child up there for I don't know what. She wasn't getting charged with anything.
Mm-hmm. You know why she did it.
Right. So they had like actually whooping cough.
Sympathy, public sympathy.
Yeah. So the child was coughing uncontrollably. So the prosecutor would essentially be like, and what do you know? And they would be like a coughing spell. And then she'd be like, what? I don't remember anything. Like, that was her phrase for everything. I don't remember anything. I have a horrible memory.
Yeah, she's also like with her sick kid, like, I'm sorry, this is such an inconvenience for me because I'm such a good mother with my sick baby.
Yeah.
Like, you killed people, lady.
And then she just left. She left. She said, I don't know. I can't even remember what I ate for
Must be
breakfast.
nice.
Goodbye. They were like, okay, unhelpful, bitch. So they just didn't stop arguing the case. So all the witnesses, there was like 55 witnesses lined up. They didn't use all of them, but a lot of the medical students, right, that were with Knox, all of these people, they went through on and on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
Back to back. Then Christmas Day at 8:30 a.m., the jury just went to discuss. So remember, 10 a.m. Christmas Eve, they started the trial. 8:30 a.m. Christmas Day, trial's done.
It's so fast.
The jury goes to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
50 minutes later, Burke was found guilty.
Good. Thank goodness.
But his wife, they didn't find her guilty.
They should have, I think.
Straight to jail.
Straight to jail. It sounds like she was not just as culpable. Like, Burke is the number one worst guy ever.
But on the spectrum of jail, with jail being the starting point and the death penalty being the end, she should have minimum had jail.
Minimum jail. I agree with you.
As he passed the death sentence against Burke, Boyle, who was the judge, said, "Your body should be publicly dissected and
do it.
anatomized. And I trust that if it is ever customary to preserve skeletons, yours will be preserved in order that posterity may keep in remembrance your atrocious crimes."
I love it.
Yep. The judge was like, "You a hoe, period. End of story. Cutting you up."
And the anatomy lab is going to keep her skeleton on display.
Yep.
So how do you like them apples?
So in his last confession to like a member of the clergy, Burke blamed Hare for everything, obviously. It was irrelevant because Hare was scot-free.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that you threw up a peace sign, like your hair. Bye-bye.
Burke's wife, girlfriend.
Yeah.
She was released, but she was like attacked by a mob. So she had to hide in a police station. And then after that, there's no accounts of her at all.
Yeah, a little mob justice, maybe? Little Scotland people's justice?
I think so. Burke was hanged on January 28th in 1829 in front of a crowd of like 25,000 people.
Holy shit. That's like all of Scotland at that time, right?
And his body was publicly dissected. His skeleton was given to the Anatomical Museum of Edinburgh Medical School, and it still remains there.
Wow.
And they have his death mask, which is just like you know what that is?
Yeah, but describe it.
It's like what they think your face looks like.
Yeah.
But it's just like if they peeled your face off.
It's like a plaster cast of your face, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a book that is said to be bound with his skin. Can be seen at the Surgeons Hall Museum.
Dude, yeah. I listened to something or read something, I can't remember what it was, but it was about all of the artifacts they have of like books made with human skin.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Why is that ever a thing?
I do not understand.
If you at any point think that that's a good idea, you're a psychopath.
Correct.
Whoever did that, like skinned him and made a book, also straight to jail.
Straight to jail. Hare, so remember Hare, no charges. Pieced out.
Sure.
He was released and he was assisted by like law enforcement in escaping what would have been certain death by mobs.
Yeah.
Like mobs were like, we about to murder him.
There's 25,000 people at the hanging. Yeah.
Correct.
He's not getting out.
In fact, he had to be like taken out of a lodging house. He was like on a carriage and was traveling away. And a person who was in the lab recognized him.
Okay.
And was like, "This is that motherfucker." And he told everybody.
Yeah.
Then they were like trying to kill him. And basically the police like got him out of that situation, took him to a road, pointed him to England, and they were like, "You on your own.
Good luck."
Like just walk with a quickness and get out.
With a quickness.
Like
you better jog, friend. That's what they said.
And he was never heard of again.
Interessante. Yeah.
Knox was cleared by the police and also cleared by a medical like review panel. They said that basically they didn't have enough evidence that he did know what they were doing so that they couldn't really charge him or remove anything. But he did eventually resign because in his entire like colleague group just ignored the shit out of him for the rest of his time there. They were like
he's walking past people in the hallway and they're just like, who? What? Who said that? I think that's fair.
Don't ever talk to me.
I don't know if they did this at the time. I don't know how doctor practicing worked in the 1820s in Scotland, but they at least should have revoked his medical license. Like, they should have been like, you are not a doctor anymore.
See, and I don't even think it was a medical license. I think it was the university.
Okay.
Like, I don't think they could practice without the connection to a university.
Okay.
And I think the university, like, cleared him.
Oh, okay.
But then he ended up moving and they just like ignored him and he couldn't keep. People were like, "No, man, we're not fucking with you for the rest of forever."
For the rest of forever. That seems really fair to me.
Me too. I agree.
I think he should have gone to jail.
Straight. Straight to jail. So the trial, I love saying that.
Same.
So the trial and murders are horrible, but they did like raise awareness for the needs, as I wrap this up and bring this full circle, for bodies for medical research. And they actually did pass the Anatomy Act of 1832 based on this situation, which gave more ability for medical students and researchers to have access to like bodies to practice.
Okay.
It authorized dissection on bodies from workhouses who were unclaimed after 48 hours.
Okay.
And it did end the practice of anatomizing as part of the death sentence. So
that seems fair.
They were like, you can have more bodies like from workhouses for people who don't get claimed, but you can't like sentence someone to death and be like, and we're going to cut you up.
Yeah, that seems a little shady. I ain't gonna lie.
It was gross. The fact that his skeleton is still hanging somewhere, like...
Yeah. Look, here's the thing. I feel like whatever happened to Burke, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, same.
In general, though, should you be publicly dissecting criminals? Probably not.
I think that's really not okay.
It seems a little excessive.
I will say, too, I didn't put this in here, but there were so many people who wanted to come to his public dissection that it was like thousands and thousands of people that they ended up, and the medical students were so frustrated because they're like, look, all of you people don't even care about what you're seeing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn something.
Right.
So they actually had the public like scurry through in batches of like 50 people while he was being dissected.
Oh my God.
And because they originally had sold
tickets. They didn't have any form of
They
entertainment.
had sold tickets for it because of entertainment, right? And then they were like, the medical students, there was like I think there was like a brawl, like a fight where medical students were like, are you actually serious? Like, you don't even care. You don't even go here. Like, why are you here?
She doesn't even go here.
So they like fought in the hallways. They were like fighting. And then they were like, okay.
The school was like, listen, we're trying to make a quick buck.
We are trying to make a buck.
Yeah. But
you can sit.
Let's just move these people through quickly.
Yeah. And that's what they did.
That's crazy.
And that's what I know about that.
That was a crazy story.
Isn't that so crazy? Man, the 1800s.
That was maybe my favorite story you've ever told.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, it's disgusting and horrible, but boy.
Anyway, that's my story. Hate my life, thanks.
That was so good. You did such a good job with that. Yay. That was a really good story.
Straight to jail.
Dude, I read a book, and I'm going to recommend it because everybody should read it. It's called Stiff, and it's about the uses of cadavers in modern medicine and modern technology. And that story in general is on my list of topics to cover.
Oh, yeah.
And I was working a little bit on it, and I came across the idea of like body snatchers in general, but I've never heard this particular story, and it was juicy.
Okay, well, I can't wait for you to cover that. Thanks for listening.
You were spilling the tea.
Y'all follow us on social medias, Malpractice Podcast. Send us a DM. Let us know if you have any recos.
Yeah. If you like what we're doing, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you like to listen to podcasts. We hope you like the story of Burke and Hare. Thanks, Jess. You did a great job.
Thank you. And don't forget,
malpractice makes perfect.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, this was the craziest story I've ever heard, and I absolutely loved it. I ain't gonna lie.